Welcome to the English Podcast.
For listening and speaking.
When was the last time you turned off your phone completely?
Oh, wow, Emily, that's a loaded question right there.
I'm serious. Not just putting it on silent or flipping it face down, actually pressing that power button and watching the screen go black.
Honestly, I can't remember. Maybe during a flight when the battery died?
See, that's exactly what I mean. We're so connected to our devices that we literally can't imagine life without them.
Welcome back to the English Podcast for listening and speaking, everyone. I'm Brian, and this is Emily. And today we're diving deep into something that affects every single one of us.
We're talking about digital detox, the practice of taking a break from technology to reconnect with ourselves and the real world around us.
And for our English learners out there, this episode is packed with useful vocabulary and phrasal verbs you'll hear native speakers use every day when talking about technology.
Right. Words like screen time, scroll, and FOMO, fear of missing out, plus phrasal verbs like unplug and log out.
But before we jump into the language learning, let's get real about our relationship with technology. Emily, how many hours do you think you spend looking at screens every day?
Oh gosh, I'm almost afraid to check. My phone actually tracks my screen time, and last week it said I average 6 hours a day.
6 hours? That's like a part-time job just staring at your phone.
Don't judge me. What about you, Mr. Perfect?
Well, I don't check as obsessively as you do. But when I finally looked last month, I was shocked. 4.5 hours daily.
So together, we're spending more than 10 hours a day on our devices. That's more time than most people sleep.
And that's just our phones. Add computers for work, TVs, tablets. We're basically living inside screens.
This is why we need to talk about digital detox. But first, let me ask our listeners something. Have you ever tried to unplug from technology?
Great phrasal verb there, Emily. Unplug means to disconnect from electronic devices or the internet. Like, I unplugged for the weekend and felt so much better.
Exactly. It comes from the literal meaning, unplugging an electrical device from the wall. But now we use it to mean taking a break from all technology.
So when someone says, I need to unplug, they mean they want to step away from their phone, computer, social media, everything digital.
And honestly, I think most of us need to unplug more often than we do. But it's scary, isn't it?
What do you mean scary?
Well, what if someone needs to reach us? What if we miss something important? What if there's an emergency?
Ah, you're talking about FOMO, fear of missing out. That's when you're worried that other people are having more fun or doing more interesting things than you are.
Yes, FOMO is so real. I'll be at dinner with friends, but I keep checking Instagram to see what everyone else is doing.
That's actually kind of sad when you think about it. You're missing out on the real moment because you're afraid of missing out on virtual moments.
Okay, ouch, but you're right. And this is exactly why digital detox is becoming so popular.
For those who might not know, a detox originally meant cleansing your body of harmful substances. Now we use it for taking breaks from things that might be harmful to our mental health.
Like a social media detox means staying away from platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok for a specific period.
Or a phone detox might mean leaving your device at home when you go out, or turning it off for several hours each day.
But here's what's interesting. The word detox suggests that technology is toxic. Do you think that's fair?
That's a great question. I don't think technology itself is toxic, but I do think our relationship with it can become unhealthy.
Like, technology is a tool. A hammer isn't bad, but if you use it wrong, you can hurt yourself.
Perfect analogy. The problem isn't the phone. It's how we use it. Are we controlling our technology, or is it controlling us?
And that's what we're going to explore today, how to create a healthy balance with our devices.
Plus, we'll teach you tons of useful English along the way. Native speakers use specific vocabulary when talking about technology and digital habits.
Before we continue, we want to ask you something. If you're finding this conversation interesting, please hit that like button and share this episode with a friend who might need to hear it.
And definitely leave us a comment. We love reading your thoughts and experiences.
Now, here's our first challenge for you, and this might be harder than you think.
We want you to honestly ask yourself, could you unplug for 24 hours?
Not for an emergency or because your phone broke, but by choice. Could you intentionally turn off your phone and leave it off for a full day?
Be honest with yourself. What would scare you most about being disconnected for 24 hours?
Would it be missing messages from friends? Not being able to check social media? Not having Google when you need to look something up?
Or maybe it's simpler. Maybe you just can't imagine being bored without having something to scroll through.
Think about it as we continue our conversation, because by the end of this episode, we want to give you the tools and motivation to actually try it.
Coming up next, we're going to get real about screen time. Emily and I will share some embarrassing stories about our own technology habits.
Oh no, are we really doing this? Some of my late night scrolling sessions are pretty ridiculous.
That's exactly what we need to talk about, because if we can't be honest about the problem, we can't find solutions.
Plus, you'll learn vocabulary like scroll, notifications, and addicted to. Words you definitely need to know in English.
So stick with us. And remember, you're not alone if you feel like technology has taken over your life.
We're all trying to figure out how to live in a digital world without losing ourselves in the process. Okay, Brian, confession time. I'm going to share something really embarrassing about my screen time, and then you have to do the same.
Oh no, this should be good. Go ahead, Emily.
Last Tuesday night, I told myself I was just going to quickly check Instagram before bed. Just for 5 minutes.
Let me guess. It wasn't 5 minutes.
I started scrolling through my feed, then I saw this cute video which led me to someone's profile, which led me to another video, then to shopping posts, then to food accounts.
Classic social media rabbit hole. How long did this 5-minute check actually take?
2 hours and 37 minutes. I know the exact time because my phone tracks everything, and I was horrified when I saw it the next morning.
2.5 hours? Emily, that's like watching a full movie. Except instead of one coherent story, you just absorbed random fragments of other people's lives.
And the worst part? I couldn't even remember most of what I saw. It was just endless scrolling. Mindless, pointless scrolling.
This is what we call doom scrolling, or just scrolling in general. For our English learners, scroll means to move up and down on a screen to see more content.
Right. Like when you scroll through your social media feed or scroll down a web page to read more. It's such a common verb now.
And feed is another tech vocabulary word. It's the stream of content that apps show you, like your Instagram feed or Twitter feed.
But here's what really bothers me about that night. I kept getting notifications the whole time, and each notification pulled me deeper into my phone.
Ah, yes, notifications. Those little alerts that pop up on your screen to tell you about messages, likes, comments, news updates.
They're like digital interruptions that never stop. My phone buzzes, I see a notification, I think, oh, just one quick look, and suddenly I'm trapped.
It's designed that way, Emily. These apps want to keep you engaged, so they send constant notifications to pull your attention back to the screen.
Which brings us to screen time. The total amount of time you spend looking at digital screens each day.
Most smartphones now track your screen time automatically and show you weekly reports. Emily, what was your screen time last week?
Ugh, do I have to say? Fine, 7 hours and 22 minutes per day on average.
7 hours. That's almost like a full-time job.
I know. And that's just my phone. That doesn't include watching TV, using my laptop for work, or any other screens.
So you're probably looking at screens for more than 10 hours a day total. No wonder you feel exhausted.
Exactly. And this is why I need to cut back on my screen time seriously.
Great phrasal verb there. Cut back on means to reduce or decrease something. Like I need to cut back on coffee, or I'm trying to cut back on spending money.
So instead of saying, I want to use my phone less, you can say, I need to cut back on my phone usage. It sounds more natural.
Right? And Emily, what's your biggest screen time challenge? Which app or activity takes up most of your time?
Honestly, Instagram and TikTok. I can scroll through TikTok for hours without even realizing it. The algorithm is so good at showing me exactly what I want to see.
That's interesting. So you're not even consciously choosing what to watch. The app is deciding for you.
Exactly. And that's kind of scary when you think about it. I'm letting an algorithm control how I spend my free time. What about you, Brian? What's your screen time confession?
Well, I'm not as bad as you with social media, but I have a different problem. I'm addicted to news websites and Reddit.
Ooh, addicted to. That's important vocabulary. When you're addicted to something, you can't stop doing it even when you want to.
Right. And I know checking news constantly doesn't make me more informed. It just makes me more anxious. But I can't stop.
How much time do you spend on news and Reddit?
About 3 to 4 hours a day. I tell myself I'm staying informed, but really I'm just refreshing the same websites over and over.
That's still a lot. And you probably see the same stories multiple times, right?
Absolutely. I'll read the same news story on 5 different websites, as if somehow the 6th version will have magical new information.
This is what I mean about FOMO, fear of missing out. You're afraid that if you don't check constantly, you'll miss something important.
But here's the ironic thing. By constantly checking for new information, I'm missing out on real life happening around me.
Yes. Like, when was the last time you had a conversation without looking at your phone at all?
Honestly, I can't remember. Even during dinner with friends, I find myself checking notifications.
It's like our phones have trained us to have the attention span of goldfish. We can't focus on one thing for more than a few minutes.
And this constant switching between apps and notifications is exhausting our brains. We're not designed to process information this quickly and constantly.
Plus, all these apps are designed to be addictive. They use psychological tricks to keep us coming back.
Like variable reward schedules. You never know when you'll get a like or a comment, so you keep checking, hoping for that little dopamine hit.
It's like a slot machine in your pocket. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but you can't stop playing.
And the scary part is that we're doing this voluntarily. Nobody is forcing us to scroll for hours.
But are we really choosing freely, or are these apps manipulating our psychology?
That's a deep question. I think we have more control than we realize, but it requires intentional effort to break these habits.
Which is why we need strategies for cutting back on screen time, not just willpower.
Before we talk about solutions, let's ask our listeners something important.
We want to know, what app or website takes up most of your screen time?
Is it social media like Instagram or TikTok, news websites, games, video streaming?
And how do you feel about the amount of time you spend on it? Proud? Guilty? Neutral?
Be honest in the comments. There's no judgment here. We're all struggling with the same issues.
Also, have you ever checked your screen time report and been shocked by the numbers?
Because that moment of realization, when you see that you spent 6 hours on your phone yesterday, that's often the first step toward changing your habits.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about why digital detox actually matters for your health, relationships, and overall happiness.
We'll explore the real benefits of unplugging and why cutting back on screen time isn't just trendy. It's necessary.
Plus, you'll learn more phrasal verbs like turn off and switch off that native speakers use when talking about technology.
So if you're ready to understand why your relationship with technology might need some boundaries, stick with us.
And remember, recognizing the problem is the first step towards solving it. All right, Brian, we've confessed our screen time sins, but now I want to know, why should we actually care about cutting back on technology?
That's a fair question. I mean, if we're getting things done and staying connected with people, what's the real harm in spending a lot of time on our devices?
Well, let me ask you this. How do you sleep at night?
What do you mean?
I mean, do you fall asleep easily? Do you sleep deeply? Do you wake up feeling refreshed?
Honestly? No to all three. I usually lie awake for at least 30 minutes before falling asleep, and I wake up feeling tired most mornings.
And when do you usually stop looking at screens before bed?
I often fall asleep with my phone in my hand, actually. I'll be reading news or watching videos until I literally can't keep my eyes open.
There's your problem right there. The blue light from screens messes with your natural sleep cycle.
Oh, right. I've heard about this. The light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, so it doesn't produce melatonin properly.
Exactly. When you turn off your devices earlier in the evening, your brain can naturally prepare for sleep.
Turn off. That's one of our key phrasal verbs today. It means to stop a device from working, usually by pressing a power button.
Right. So instead of saying, stop your phone, you say, turn off your phone. It's much more natural in English.
You can turn off your TV, turn off your computer, turn off your notifications. It's a very useful phrasal verb.
And there's also switch off, which means exactly the same thing. Like, I switch off my phone at 9 p.m. every night.
Good point. Turn off and switch off are interchangeable when talking about devices.
So, Brian, what would happen if you turned off all your screens 2 hours before bedtime?
Honestly, I'd probably be bored. What would I do with that time?
And that's exactly the problem. We've forgotten how to be comfortable with quiet time, with our own thoughts.
You know what, Emily? You're absolutely right. I used to read books before bed, but now I just scroll through my phone until I pass out.
Reading, taking a bath, having a real conversation, writing in a journal. There are so many better ways to wind down.
But it's not just about sleep, is it? I've noticed that when I'm constantly checking my phone, I can't focus on anything for very long.
Yes, that's another huge benefit of digital detox. Improve focus and concentration.
I'll be trying to work on something important, but every few minutes I get distracted by a notification or the urge to check social media.
It's like our brains have become addicted to constant stimulation. We can't just sit quietly and think anymore.
And addicted to is important vocabulary here. When you're addicted to something, you have a strong need to do it even when it's harmful.
People say, I'm addicted to social media or I'm addicted to my phone. It means you can't stop using it even when you want to.
What about relationships, Emily? How do you think screen time affects our connections with other people?
Oh, this makes me sad. How many times have you been at dinner with friends and everyone is looking at their phones instead of talking to each other?
Too many times. It's like we're physically together but mentally somewhere else.
And when someone is talking to you, but you keep glancing at your phone, what message does that send?
That whatever is on my phone is more important than the person in front of me.
Exactly. Digital detox helps you be more present with the people you care about.
There's that word present. It means being mentally and emotionally engaged in the current moment, not distracted by other things.
When you're present with someone, you give them your full attention. No phones, no distractions, just genuine human connection.
I have to admit, some of my best conversations happen when phones are put away completely.
And what about mental health? How do you feel after spending hours scrolling through social media?
Usually pretty terrible, actually. I end up comparing myself to other people, or I get overwhelmed by negative news.
Overwhelmed means feeling like you have too much to deal with. Too much information, too many emotions, too much stress.
Social media can definitely make you feel overwhelmed. Everyone else seems happier, more successful, more attractive.
But that's not real life. People only post their best moments, not their struggles or boring everyday activities.
So when we constantly compare our real lives to other people's highlight reels, of course we feel inadequate.
Digital detox gives your brain a break from all that comparison and negative input.
Okay, Emily, I'm convinced that digital detox has benefits. But here's my question. Is this about completely giving up technology or finding balance?
Great question. It's definitely about balance, not becoming a digital hermit.
Balance means having the right amount of different things in your life. Not too much of one thing, not too little of another.
Technology isn't evil. It helps us learn, work, stay connected with distant friends and family.
But when technology starts controlling our sleep, our focus, our relationships, and our mental health, that's when we need to make changes.
Think of it like eating. Food isn't bad, but if you eat junk food all day every day, you'll feel terrible.
So digital detox is like eating healthy. You're being intentional about what you consume and how much.
Exactly. And speaking of being intentional, Brian, I have a challenge for you.
Uh-oh, what kind of challenge?
I challenge you to log out of all your social media and news websites for 1 full week.
Wait, what? Emily, that's terrifying.
Log out means to sign out of an account or app. So instead of just closing the app, you actually log out completely.
I know what log out means. I'm just not sure I can actually do it for a week.
That reaction right there proves you need to do it. If the idea of logging out makes you panic, that's a sign of unhealthy dependence.
But what if something important happens in the world? What if there's breaking news?
Brian, be honest. How many times has checking news websites every hour actually helped you in a real, practical way?
Well, never actually. I just end up more anxious.
So will you take my challenge? 1 week without social media or news websites.
Can I still use my phone for calls and messages?
Yes, but no scrolling, no feeds, no constant updates.
This is really scary, but okay, I'll try it.
Yes, and everyone listening, here's our question for you. What's one thing you would gain if you cut back on technology?
Maybe better sleep, more time for hobbies, deeper conversations with friends?
Think about it seriously. What would you do with an extra hour or two each day if you weren't scrolling through your phone?
Would you read more, exercise, learn a new skill, spend time in nature?
Leave us a comment with your answer, because coming up next, we're going to give you practical strategies for actually making these changes.
We'll talk about how to practice digital detox without feeling completely disconnected from the world.
Plus more phrasal verbs and vocabulary that will help you talk about setting boundaries and creating healthy habits.
And I'll probably need all the help I can get for this week-long challenge Emily just gave me. Okay, Emily, you've convinced me to try your week-long challenge, but I'm honestly terrified. How do I actually start practicing digital detox without going completely crazy?
That's the perfect question, Brian. The key is to start small and create clear boundaries for yourself.
Boundaries. That's important vocabulary. Boundaries are limits or rules you set to protect your time, energy, and mental health.
Exactly. Like setting a boundary that you won't check your phone during meals or creating a boundary around bedtime screen use.
So what are some practical boundaries people can set with their devices?
Well, one of my favorites is the phone-free dinner rule. When you eat, your phone goes in another room or gets turned off completely.
That sounds simple, but it's actually really challenging. I usually watch videos or read news while I eat.
But think about it. When you're distracted by your phone during meals, you're not really tasting your food or enjoying the experience of eating.
You know what? You're right. I often finish eating and realize I barely noticed what I was consuming.
Plus, if you're eating with other people, phone-free meals create space for actual conversation and connection.
What about work, though? A lot of people need their phones for their jobs.
True, but you can still set boundaries, like turning off non-work notifications during work hours so you can focus better.
Turn off notifications. That's a great practical tip. You can turn off alerts for social media, games, and news apps while keeping important work or family messages.
Exactly. Your phone doesn't need to buzz every time someone likes your Instagram post.
How do you actually turn off notifications? Some of our listeners might not know the technical steps.
On most phones, you go to Settings, then Notifications, and you can choose which apps are allowed to send you alerts.
And you can customize it. Like, keep notifications for calls and messages from family, but turn off everything else.
Another boundary I love is the 1-hour rule before bed. Turn off all screens at least 1 hour before you want to fall asleep.
We talked about this earlier with sleep quality. But what do you actually do during that screen-free hour?
Read a book, take a bath, do some gentle stretching, write in a journal, have a conversation with your partner or roommate.
Or just sit quietly and let your mind relax. We've forgotten how to be bored. And boredom is actually good for creativity.
Yes. Speaking of sitting quietly, here's another strategy. Create phone-free zones in your home.
What do you mean by phone-free zones?
Like maybe your bedroom is completely phone-free, or the dining room, places where you want to focus on rest, relationships, or just being present.
I like that idea. It's like creating physical boundaries that support your digital boundaries.
Now, Brian, since you're taking on this challenge, let's practice some of the language you'll need. Can you repeat after me?
Oh no, are we doing a repeat after me section? Our listeners love these, but I always feel awkward.
Come on, it'll help you and everyone listening. Ready? I turn off my phone at night.
I turn off my phone at night.
Good. Everyone listening, say that out loud too. I turn off my phone at night.
Now you try this one, Emily. I log out of social media when I need to focus.
I log out of social media when I need to focus.
Perfect. Listeners, your turn. I log out of social media when I need to focus.
Here's another one. I unplug for the weekend to recharge.
I unplug for the weekend to recharge.
Great. Recharge is wonderful vocabulary. It means to rest and get your energy back, like charging a battery.
When you recharge, you're taking care of yourself, so you can feel refreshed and energized again.
Everyone listening, practice that sentence. I unplug for the weekend to recharge.
These sentences aren't just grammar practice. They're like positive affirmations for building healthy tech habits.
Exactly. Now let's talk about another strategy, the gradual approach versus the cold turkey approach.
Cold turkey means stopping something completely and immediately, without gradually reducing it.
Like if you quit smoking cold turkey, you stop completely on one day rather than slowly cutting back.
So a cold turkey digital detox would be turning off all your devices for a week, like Emily wants me to do.
Hey, I think you can handle it. But for people who want to start smaller, the gradual approach works too.
What would gradual digital detox look like?
Maybe you start by turning off your phone for 1 hour each evening, then gradually increase it to 2 hours, then 3.
Or you could pick one day per week to have a complete digital Sabbath. No screens for the entire day.
Sabbath originally means a day of rest in religious traditions, but now people use digital Sabbath to mean a regular day without technology.
What about a social media cleanse? That's another popular approach.
Yes, a cleanse means removing harmful things from your body or life, like a juice cleanse or a social media cleanse.
So you might log out of Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for a week or a month, but still use your phone for calls and messages.
The key is choosing an approach that feels challenging but not impossible for your lifestyle.
What if people are worried about staying connected with friends and family during a digital detox?
Great question. You can tell important people in your life that you're taking a break from certain apps, but they can still reach you by phone or text for important things.
And honestly, most of what we think is urgent really isn't. True emergencies are rare.
Plus, when you disconnect from the constant noise of social media and news, you often find that you can connect more deeply with the people who really matter.
Now, Emily, I have to ask, what's the hardest part of digital detox for most people?
I think it's the boredom and the anxiety. When you're used to constant stimulation, quiet moments feel uncomfortable.
And FOMO is real. You worry that everyone else is having fun or learning important things while you're offline.
But that's exactly why it's so valuable. Learning to be comfortable with quiet, with your own thoughts, with not knowing everything that's happening every minute.
It's like mental exercise. At first it's hard, but gradually you get stronger.
Okay, everyone, here's our challenge question for this section. Would you try a social media cleanse for 1 week?
Not all technology, just logging out of social media platforms. You can still use your phone for practical things.
Think honestly about whether you could log out of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter for 7 days.
And what scares you most about that idea? The boredom? Missing out on friends' updates? Not having something to do when you're waiting somewhere?
Leave us a comment with your honest answer. Would you try it? What worries you? What excites you about the possibility?
Coming up next, we're going to talk about finding the right balance between staying connected and protecting your mental health.
Because digital detox isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about using technology intentionally rather than letting it use you.
And I'll probably have some interesting stories to share about my first few days of Emily's challenge. So Emily, we've talked about all these strategies for digital detox, but I want to be clear about something. We're not saying people should throw their phones in the garbage and move to a cave, right?
Oh, definitely not. Though honestly, sometimes a cave sounds pretty peaceful compared to the constant notifications.
See, this is what I mean. You go from one extreme to the other, Emily. Either you're scrolling for hours, or you want to live like a hermit.
Hey, I'm not that dramatic. But you have to admit there's something appealing about complete disconnection sometimes.
There is, but that's not realistic for most people. We live in a digital world, and technology genuinely helps us in many ways.
You're absolutely right. The goal isn't to eliminate technology, it's to find the right balance.
Exactly. Balance means having the right amount of different things in your life. Not too much of one thing, and not too little of another.
Like I use my phone to stay connected with my family who live in another country. Video calls with my parents are precious to me.
And I use technology for work, for learning new things, for navigating when I'm driving somewhere unfamiliar.
The problem isn't the technology itself. It's when we use it mindlessly or when it starts controlling our behavior.
Right? There's a big difference between intentionally using your phone to call a friend and mindlessly scrolling through social media for 3 hours.
So how do we find that balance? How do we use technology as a tool without becoming addicted to it?
I think it starts with being more intentional about when and how we use our devices.
What do you mean by intentional?
Well, instead of just picking up your phone whenever you're bored, you pause and ask yourself, why am I reaching for this? What do I actually need right now?
Oh, that's interesting. So like if I'm feeling lonely, instead of automatically opening Instagram, I might call a real friend instead.
Exactly. You're using technology to create genuine connection rather than just consuming other people's content.
Connection is such important vocabulary here. It can mean the technical connection to the internet, but it also means emotional connection between people.
And the irony is that social media promises connection, but often makes us feel more disconnected and isolated.
Yes, I can scroll through hundreds of posts from acquaintances and still feel lonely. But one real conversation with a close friend makes me feel completely different.
So technology can help us connect, but we need to use it in ways that create real relationships, not just passive consumption.
Now, Brian, let's talk about your approach to balance, because honestly, you're kind of becoming a digital hermit with this challenge I gave you.
I'm not becoming a hermit. I'm just being more selective about my screen time.
You logged out of everything 3 days ago and you've been reading actual paper books. Paper books, Brian.
What's wrong with books? Books are wonderful. They don't send notifications. They don't try to sell me things. They don't make me compare myself to other people.
Nothing's wrong with books, but you've gone from checking news websites every hour to completely avoiding all digital media. That's a pretty extreme swing.
Maybe, but I have to say I feel much calmer. My mind isn't constantly jumping from one piece of information to another.
I'll give you that. You do seem more present when we talk now. Like you're actually listening instead of thinking about what you want to check on your phone.
See? That's what I mean about balance. I always turn off my phone during our podcast recordings now.
Great example of present simple with a phrasal verb. I always turn off my phone during recordings. That's natural, everyday English.
Right, let's give our listeners more examples. Emily, what's something you always do with your phone?
I always turn off my notifications after 9 p.m. so I can sleep better.
Good. Everyone listening, try this pattern. I always, plus a phrasal verb, like I always log out of social media before bed.
Or, I always switch off my devices during dinner with friends.
These habits become automatic when you practice them regularly. The key is consistency.
But Brian, I have to ask, don't you feel like you're missing out on anything by avoiding news and social media completely?
Honestly, not really. The important news still reaches me through conversations with friends or family, and I realize that most of what I was reading wasn't actually important.
Whereas I'm still the scroll queen over here, checking Instagram way too often.
Hey, at least you're aware of it. Self-awareness is the first step toward change.
True, and I am trying to practice moderation instead of going cold turkey like you did.
Moderation means not doing too much of anything, finding the middle ground between extremes.
Like I still use social media, but I try to set specific times for it instead of checking constantly throughout the day.
That's a great approach. What specific boundaries have you set?
I allow myself to check Instagram twice a day, once in the morning with my coffee and once in the evening. That's it.
And how's that working for you?
It's harder than I expected. I catch myself reaching for my phone automatically, then remembering my rule.
But that automatic reaching is exactly the habit we need to break. Technology should be a conscious choice, not an unconscious reflex.
You know what's funny? When I do check social media during my designated times, I actually enjoy it more because I'm being intentional about it.
That makes perfect sense. When you're mindful about your choices, you can fully appreciate the positive aspects of technology.
Like seeing photos from friends' vacations or staying updated on people I care about but don't see regularly.
The goal is to use technology to enhance your life, not to escape from it or fill every quiet moment.
Speaking of quiet moments, I've started leaving my phone at home when I go for walks, and it's amazing how much I notice about my neighborhood now.
See, that's perfect balance. You're creating space for real-world experiences while still using technology when it serves a purpose.
But here's something I want to ask our listeners, because I'm genuinely curious about their perspective.
What's your question?
Do you believe technology connects us more with other people or disconnects us from real relationships?
That's such a complex question. I think it can do both, depending on how we use it.
Right? Like video calls with distant family members are incredibly connecting. But scrolling through hundreds of superficial posts can feel very isolating.
So maybe the real question isn't whether technology is good or bad, but how we can use it more intentionally.
I love that. It's about being the boss of your technology instead of letting your technology be the boss of you.
Perfect way to put it. And that requires ongoing attention and adjustment, not just a one-time decision.
Like any healthy habit, eating well, exercising, getting enough sleep, it requires consistent, conscious choices.
So everyone listening, we want to hear your thoughts. Does technology help you feel more connected to people? Or does it sometimes make you feel more isolated?
And what does healthy tech balance look like in your life? What boundaries work for you?
Share your experiences in the comments because we're all figuring this out together.
Coming up next, we're going to do a fun vocabulary and grammar workshop where we'll practice all the phrasal verbs and key words from today's episode.
Plus, I'll probably share some more updates on how Emily's digital detox challenge is going for me.
And I'll try not to make fun of Brian for becoming a technology hermit.
I prefer mindful technology user, thank you very much. All right, everyone, it's time for our vocabulary and grammar workshop. This is where we review all the key language from today's episode.
I love this part. It's like a fun recap where we make sure everyone really understands how to use these words and phrases naturally.
Let's start with our phrasal verbs. Emily, can you remind everyone what the 5 main phrasal verbs were?
Oh, I remember. Turn off, log out, unplug, cut back, and, switch on?
Close. It was switch off, not switch on. Switch off means the same as turn off, to stop a device from working.
Right. Switch off. So switch on would be the opposite. To start a device, like turning it on.
Exactly. Now let's practice these phrasal verbs with some real examples. I'll give you a situation, and you tell me which phrasal verb fits best.
Ooh, I like this game.
Okay, here's the situation. It's bedtime, and you want to stop your phone from making any noise or showing any light.
Easy. You turn off your phone. Or you could switch off your phone.
Perfect. Both are correct. What about this one? You want to take a break from Instagram for a week so you completely exit your account.
You unplug from Instagram?
Close, but not quite. You log out of Instagram. Unplug is more general. It means disconnecting from technology completely.
Oh, right. You log out of specific apps or accounts, but you unplug from technology in general.
Exactly. So you might log out of social media for a week, but unplug from all technology for a weekend.
Got it. What about cutback? That one's tricky for me.
Cut back means to reduce something. So if you're spending too much time on your phone, you need to cut back on your screen time.
So instead of saying, I want to use my phone less, you say, I want to cut back on phone usage.
Perfect. It sounds much more natural. Now let's do our repeat after me section. Everyone listening, say these sentences out loud with us.
This is so helpful for pronunciation and muscle memory. Ready, everyone?
First sentence, I turn off my phone before bed.
I turn off my phone before bed.
Great. Everyone at home, say it clearly. I turn off my phone before bed.
Next one. I log out when I need focus.
I log out when I need focus.
Your turn, listeners. I log out when I need focus.
And the last one, I unplug to recharge.
I unplug to recharge.
Everyone together, I unplug to recharge.
Those sentences aren't just grammar practice. They're like positive statements about healthy tech habits.
Absolutely. When you repeat these phrases, you're training your brain to think about technology more mindfully.
Now let's review our key vocabulary. Brian, what were the most important words from today's episode?
Well, we had screen time. The amount of time you spend looking at digital devices each day.
Right, like when I confessed that my screen time was over 7 hours daily. So embarrassing.
Then we had scroll, moving up and down on a screen to see more content.
Like scrolling through Instagram or scrolling through news articles. I'm definitely guilty of mindless scrolling.
Notifications. Those alerts that pop up on your device to tell you about messages, likes, comments.
The little buzzes and dings that constantly interrupt our thoughts and pull our attention back to our phones.
FOMO, fear of missing out. The anxiety that other people are having more fun or doing more interesting things than you.
FOMO is so real. It's why I compulsively check social media even when I'm having fun with friends in real life.
Addicted to. When you can't stop doing something even though you want to or know it's harmful.
Like saying, I'm addicted to social media, or I'm addicted to checking news websites.
Boundaries, Deldrines. Limits or rules you set to protect your time, energy, and mental health.
Such as creating boundaries around bedtime screen use or setting boundaries about phone-free dinners.
Connection, which can mean technical internet connection or emotional connection between people.
The irony being that social media promises connection, but often makes us feel more disconnected.
Balance, having the right amount of different things in your life, not too much of one thing.
Finding balance between using technology helpfully and not letting it control your life.
Recharge, to rest and restore your energy, like charging a battery.
When you unplug from technology, you're giving yourself time to recharge mentally and emotionally.
Now, Emily, let's test your understanding. Can you make a sentence using 3 of these words together?
Okay, let me try. I need better boundaries with my phone because I'm addicted to scrolling and it's affecting my sleep balance.
Excellent. That's a perfect sentence that uses our vocabulary naturally.
Your turn, Brian. Use screen time, notifications, and recharge in one sentence.
I reduced my daily screen time by turning off notifications, which helped me recharge more effectively.
Nice. See, everyone? When you combine these words, you can express complex ideas about technology and lifestyle.
Now, here's our challenge for everyone listening. And this is really important for practicing what you've learned.
We want you to write one sentence in the comments using each of our 5 phrasal verbs.
So one sentence with turn off, one with log out, one with unplug, one with cut back, and one with switch off.
They can be about your own life, your goals, or even hypothetical situations. The important thing is practicing the grammar.
For example, you might write, I turn off my phone during family dinners, or I need to cut back on my news consumption.
And don't worry about making mistakes. The comment section is a safe space for practicing English.
Plus, we read every comment and sometimes reply with encouragement or gentle corrections.
What I love about these phrasal verbs is that once you learn them, you'll hear native speakers using them constantly in everyday conversation.
Right. Instead of sounding formal or textbook-like, you'll sound natural and fluent when talking about technology.
And honestly, everyone needs this vocabulary right now because digital wellness is such a relevant topic for everyone.
Whether you're talking with friends, family, colleagues, or even in job interviews, being able to discuss your relationship with technology shows cultural awareness.
Plus, when you practice talking about digital detox in English, you're also thinking more mindfully about your own tech habits.
It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, improving your English while improving your lifestyle.
So don't forget, everyone. 5 sentences in the comments, 1 for each phrasal verb we learned today.
And while you're writing those sentences, think about whether any of these digital detox strategies might actually work in your own life.
Coming up in our final section, we're going to wrap up with some memorable takeaways and one last challenge for everyone.
Plus, I'll give you an update on how Emily's digital detox challenge has been going for me this week.
And I promise to share whether I've actually followed any of my own advice about cutting back on scrolling. All right, everyone, we're coming to the end of our digital detox episode. And honestly, I can't believe how much we've covered today.
We really have packed a lot in. From confessing our screen time habits to learning practical strategies and all that vocabulary practice.
But before we wrap up, I'm dying to know. Brian, how is my digital detox challenge going for you? It's been 5 days now since you logged out of everything.
Okay, I have to admit something embarrassing. The first day was absolutely terrible.
Terrible? What happened?
I kept reaching for my phone automatically, like my hand had muscle memory for checking news websites. I probably picked up my phone 50 times just to stare at the home screen.
Oh no, that sounds frustrating.
It was. I felt anxious and restless, like I was missing something important happening in the world. My brain kept saying, but what if there's breaking news? What if something crucial happens?
That's classic FOMO and withdrawal from constant stimulation. Did it get better?
By day 3, something interesting happened. I stopped feeling anxious and started feeling calm. Like my mind wasn't jumping from one piece of information to another constantly.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, I've been reading actual books again, which I haven't done in months. And when I have conversations with people, I'm actually present instead of thinking about what I want to check on my phone.
See? I told you this challenge would be good for you. You sound so much more relaxed.
I hate to admit it, but you were right. I didn't realize how scattered and anxious the constant news consumption was making me feel.
And what about work? You said you needed technology for your job.
I still use my computer and phone for actual work tasks, but I'm not constantly refreshing social media or news sites between tasks. I'm more focused and productive.
This is amazing. I'm so proud of you for sticking with it.
Thanks, but now I have to ask you the same question. How is your moderation approach working? Are you actually cutting back on your scrolling?
Ugh, you're gonna make me be honest, aren't you?
Of course. Fair is fair.
Okay, fine. The twice daily Instagram rule is challenging. I've probably broken it more times than I've followed it.
So you're still the scroll queen?
Hey, I'm trying. But you know what I have been successful with? The phone-free dinners and the 1 hour before bed rule.
Those are great wins. Tell me about how those changes have affected you.
Well, when I eat without looking at my phone, I actually taste my food and feel more satisfied with meals. It sounds silly, but I never realized how distracted eating affected my enjoyment.
That doesn't sound silly at all. Mindful eating is a real thing.
And turning off my phone before bed has definitely helped with sleep. I fall asleep faster and wake up feeling less anxious.
See, even small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to go cold turkey like I did.
I think that's such an important point for our listeners. Digital detox doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Exactly. Whether you unplug completely for a week or just create small boundaries like phone-free dinners, any conscious choice about technology is valuable.
And the key word there is conscious. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, we're making intentional decisions about when and how we use our devices.
Right. The goal isn't to eliminate technology, it's to use technology purposefully rather than letting it use us.
So let's do a quick recap of the most important takeaways from today's episode.
First takeaway, excessive screen time affects your sleep, focus, relationships, and mental health in real, measurable ways.
Second, digital detox is about creating healthy boundaries, not becoming a hermit. You can start small with things like phone-free meals or logging out of social media for a day.
Third, there are practical strategies that work. Turning off notifications, creating phone-free zones, setting specific times for checking social media.
Fourth, balance is personal. Some people need to cut back gradually, others prefer going cold turkey. Find what works for your lifestyle.
And fifth, the vocabulary we learned today, phrasal verbs like turn off, log out, unplug, helps you talk about these topics naturally in English.
Plus all those key words like boundaries, screen time, notifications, FOMO, balance, recharge.
Speaking of vocabulary, I hope everyone has been writing their 5 sentences with our phrasal verbs in the comments.
Yes, we really do read every comment, and it's so helpful for your English learning to practice using these words in your own sentences.
Now, Emily, we should give everyone one final challenge to end the episode.
Oh, I love final challenges. What do you think we should ask them to do?
Well, since we've both been trying different approaches to digital detox this week, why don't we challenge our listeners to pick one small boundary and try it for just 3 days?
Perfect. So not a whole week like your challenge, but just 3 days of one specific boundary.
It could be anything. No phones during meals, no social media after 8 p.m., no screens for the first hour after waking up.
Or logging out of one app that takes up too much of your time, or turning off all non-essential notifications.
The key is to pick something specific and achievable, not something so ambitious that you'll give up after one day.
And then come back and tell us in the comments how it went. What was difficult? What surprised you? How did it make you feel?
I'm genuinely curious about everyone's experiences, because we're all figuring this out together.
Exactly. There's no judgment here. We've all confessed our own digital struggles today.
Whether you're someone who checks news compulsively like I was, or scrolls through social media for hours like Emily,
Hey, I'm working on it.
we know. The point is, everyone has some aspect of their relationship with technology that could use attention.
And taking even small steps toward more intentional tech use can improve your life in surprising ways.
So everyone, here's your 3-day challenge. Pick one boundary, try it for 3 days, and report back to us.
We'll be checking the comments and cheering you on.
And remember, if you want to review any of the vocabulary or grammar from today, you can always re-listen to this episode.
Practice those phrasal verbs until they feel natural, because you'll use them all the time in everyday English conversation.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode on Digital Detox. We covered a lot of ground. From screen time confessions, to practical strategies, to vocabulary that will help you discuss technology in English.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment with your phrasal verb sentences and your 3-day challenge commitment.
And Emily, I have to say, even though your challenge was terrifying at first, it's been genuinely helpful for my well-being.
See, I knew you needed to unplug, and I promised to keep working on my Instagram moderation.
We'll check in with each other next episode and see how we're both doing with our digital wellness goals.
Until then, everyone, try to be more present, set some boundaries, and remember that technology should enhance your life, not control it.
Thanks for learning with us today. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Don't forget that 3-day challenge.
That's empty.
Welcome to the English Podcast for listening and speaking.